let's not sugarcoat it. If you're watching this, chances are you know deep down you're not where you should be in life. You feel stuck, frustrated, maybe even angry at yourself. You've tried the motivational videos, the morning routines, the productivity hacks. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The reason you haven't leveled up yet has nothing to do with the world around you. It has everything to do with you. You are the bottleneck. You are the obstacle. And until you face that with brutal honesty, nothing is going to change. The uncomfortable truth is this: most people are addicted to potential. You love the idea of who you could be. You daydream about success, about that upgraded version of yourself. But dreaming and doing are two very different things. You're not lacking potential. You're lacking execution, discipline, consistency. You keep waiting for a perfect time to start, but the truth is, every day you hesitate. You reinforce the identity of someone who almost made it. You haven't leveled up yet because you're addicted to comfort. You seek convenience over growth. You avoid the hard conversations, the lonely nights of grinding, the boring repetition that real success demands. You skip the gym because it's raining, procrastinate on your goals because you're tired. But here's the reality: growth doesn't care how you feel. Growth doesn't ask for your permission. It demands a sacrifice. And most people simply aren't willing to pay the price. You tell yourself stories to justify where you are. It's just not the right time. I'm figuring things out. Other people had better opportunities. But deep down, you know those are lies. Or comfort blankets wrapped in excuses. The truth: you have time. You have energy, you have enough knowledge to start. But you're too scared to go all in. Because all in means risking failure. All in means letting go of your old identity. And that terrifies you. Here's something even scarier. Staying the same? Imagine waking up 5 years from now in the exact same spot. Same frustrations, same regrets. Still stuck. Still wondering what could have been if you just had the courage to act. That's the future you're building with your current choices. You haven't leveled up because you think growth should feel good. But real growth often feels like pain, like doubt, like isolation. That's the cost. Success is forged in discomfort. It's built in the early mornings when no one's watching. It's born in silence, when your only cheerleader is your own belief. You won't level up by doing what's easy. You'll level up by doing what's necessary, even when it sucks. You spend too much time consuming and not enough time creating. You scroll endlessly, watching others live the life you want. But every minute you spend watching is a minute you're not building. Success doesn't come to those who watch, it comes to those who work. While you're watching someone else's highlight reel, they're grinding through their behind the scenes. The version of you admire doesn't come from passive hope. It comes from active effort. You haven't leveled up yet because you keep quitting too early. You try something for a week, don't see results, and then move on. You start a habit, but the moment it gets hard, you drop it. But mastery doesn't happen overnight. It happens when you show up after the motivation fades. When you work, even when it's boring. When you grind, even when it feels pointless. Progress is invisible until it's undeniable. But most people never stick around long enough to see the payoff. Here's the most brutal truth of all. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not a miracle mentor, not some random stroke of luck. If you don't take ownership of your life, your time, your mind, then no one else will. The world will keep moving, and you'll be left behind wondering why it never worked out. The ones who level up aren't more gifted, they're just more committed. They take radical responsibility for everything: their failures, their habits, their results. That's the difference. You keep chasing motivation when what you need is discipline. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a choice. Successful people don't rely on feeling inspired. They rely on showing up regardless. They build systems that hold them accountable. They create environments where failure is hard and progress is natural. If you wait to feel like it, you'll wait forever. But if you build the habit of showing up, you'll change forever. You haven't leveled up yet because you're resurrounded by people who are okay with average. Your circle normalizes mediocrity. They make excuses sound reasonable. They reinforce your bad habits because it makes them feel better about their own. But if you want to grow, you need to get around people who challenge you, who make you feel uncomfortable in your complacency. Who forced you to raise your standards? The fastest way to change is to change who you're around. Another reason you haven't grown is because you're too focused on outcomes, not systems. You obsess over the results you want. the body, the money, the lifestyle, but you ignore the process. You don't fall in love with the grind. And without that love, you'll never last long enough to win. Real change comes when you focus on what you can control. Daily, your habits, your mindset, your effort. Success is a byproduct of consistency, not intensity. Maybe you haven't leveled up because you're still holding on to the past, a mistake, a failure, disappointment. You let it define you, let it paralyze you. But your past is not your prison unless you choose to stay locked inside. Every day is a blank page. You can rewrite your story. But you have to stop rereading the old one. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and move on. You can't build your future while clinging to your failures. Here's the final truth. Leveling up isn't a moment. It's a decision you make over and over again. You wake up and choose to push forward. When you say no to comfort and yes to growth. When you embrace the hard path because it leads somewhere worthwhile. Leveling up is a lifestyle, not an event. It's who you become through effort, grit, and relentless repetition. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop blaming your past. Stop waiting for perfect. Stop fearing failure. The reason you haven't leveled up yet is because you haven't truly committed. But the moment you do, that's the moment everything changes. It won't be easy. It won't be glamorous. But it will be worth it. Because the life you want. The version of you keep imagining. It's waiting. But it's not going to wait forever. It's time to level up.